All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. It's that time of the week, folks. My weekly picks in the world of the National Football League. Now, I got things started on Thursday night when I picked the Dallas Cowboys to go on the road and get the best of the New Orleans Saints. I said 27-17, and the Cowboys lived up to that. But with that said, we have some good games on tap for tomorrow, as well as a Monday night affair. And with that said, here are my picks for this weekend, week number 13 in the NFL season. Now you're going to have the 8-3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to take on the 5-6 Atlanta Falcons. Tampa Bay comes into this game favored by 10.5 points, and they are looking to put or keep rather a stronghold on the NFC South. I look at this game. We know that this Tampa offense can score. The bottom line is they got to get people healthy on the defensive side of the ball, and that's going to be the key. But I look at this game. The bottom line is this Falcons defense is not going to be able to slow down Tom Brady and his Bucks offense. And with that said, I'm going to take Tampa on the road by the score of 31-23. They're going to have the 9-2 Arizona Cardinals traveling to take on the 4-7 Chicago Bears. Arizona comes into this game favored by a touchdown, and they're also undefeated on the road, and they're also expected to get some reinforcements back on the offensive side of the ball, which is going to be important for them. In regards to the Chicago Bears, this season, can't end quick enough for them. I know that they got the win last week over the Detroit Lions, but they struggled to beat the Lions. Now you're tangling with arguably the best team in the NFC, most notably on the defensive side of the ball. And with that said, I think it's going to be too much for the Bears. This one going to take the Cards by the score of 30-17. Now you're going to have the 6-5 Los Angeles Chargers traveling to take on the 7-4 Cincinnati Bengals. These two teams could meet in the playoffs, and you also have two of the younger studs at the quarterback position in the NFL going at it. Of course, Joe Burrow for Cincinnati and Justin Herbert for the Chargers. But you look at the Bengals right now, they are playing with confidence. They have to feel good after they beat the brakes off of the Pittsburgh Steelers at home last week. And they want to solidify their chances not only of making the playoffs, but winning the AFC North. And with that confidence, especially on the defensive side of the ball, if they can find a way to force Bengals quarterback, or pardon me, Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert into making a mistake or two, it could be the difference in this game. Thus, I'm going to take Cincinnati at home by the score of 31-27. Now you're going to have the 5-6 Minnesota Vikings traveling to take on the winless Detroit Lions. And for Detroit, they keep getting close, but they still find a way to come up short. These two teams met earlier in the season, and Minnesota they found a way to pull it out, and Detroit found a way to lose. That's the typical history of this rivalry, if you want to call it that, for so long. You look at the Vikings, they've been up and down all season. And I think the biggest thing for them, they have to go in there with the mentality to know that they're going to be in for a battle, because these divisional games, especially in December, are tough. And you have a Lions team, they're game and desperate to try to get a win. But I think that the Vikings find a way to pull it out, as I'm going to take them by the score of 23-17. Now in South Florida, you're going to have the 5-7 Miami Dolphins hosting the 4-7 New York Football Giants. Miami comes into this game winners of their last four, and they are also a 6.5 point favorite in this game. The Dolphins defense, they've been playing better. I know that they've been playing some of the lower tier teams in the NFL, but the bottom line is defensively, they've been playing better, and quarterback Tua Tagovailoa has been playing better as well. On the flip side for the Giants, no Daniel Jones at quarterback, as Big Blue is going to go with Mike Glennon at quarterback. Defensively, they'll have an opportunity to stay in this game, but it's going to be one. I mean, the Giants' offense has struggled the past couple of years. Doesn't matter if it's going to be Daniel Jones, Mike Glennon, or at this point, Jeff Hostetler or Phil Simms. Doesn't matter. And I'm going to take the Dolphins at home by the score of 24-13. Now at MetLife Stadium, you're going to have the 5-7 Philadelphia Eagles traveling to take on the 3-8 New York Jets. And for Philly, excuse me, on the same field last Sunday, they felt like they let one get away as they were upset by the Giants 13-7. This time around, I don't think that the Eagles are going to face a team in the Jets that is as strong defensively as the Giants were, and I think that's going to have an impact on this game. I think Philly needs to get back to doing what they do best: running the football, allowing Jalen Hurts to scramble, and then after that, letting everything take care of itself. I think Philly comes out there with a sense of purpose and they get the job done. This I'm going to take the Eagles by the score of 27-17. Now you're going to have the 6-6 Indianapolis Colts traveling to take on the 2-9 Houston Texans. Indy comes into this game favored by 10 points, and they also should be spitting mad because they felt like they did enough to beat the pardon me, beat the Bucks last Sunday, but they still came up short. I think that Indy wants to get back to running the football effectively with Jonathan Taylor, and that's going to take some pressure off of Carson Wentz. And I think this Colts defense, which is a little underrated, is going to pin their ears back and come after Texans quarterback Tyrod Taylor early and often tomorrow. Thus, I'm going to take the Colts on the road by the score of 30-19. Now in Vegas, you're going to have the 6-5 Raiders hosting the 5-6 Washington football team. And for the Raiders, they have some confidence after they went on the road on Thanksgiving Day and bested the Dallas Cowboys. They want to keep that up, and they're going to do it if they're able to run the football and take some pressure off of quarterback Derek Carr. But I like this Raiders front four, and they've got to get after Washington quarterback Tyler Heineke in this one. I think this has the makings to be one of, if not the best games of tomorrow. And I'm going to take the Raiders at home by the score of 34-27. Now, you are going to have the 2-9 Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to take on the 7-4 Los Angeles Rams. Los Angeles comes into this game favored by 12.5 points. And what they need to do is get back to the basics because since the Rams have made all of these big moves, they haven't been able to win games. Defensively, the Rams have lost their swagger, so to speak. They have the big names on that side of the ball, but they need to play more aggressive. They need to be more physical. They need to play with a nasty, mean streak. And we have not seen it so far. And I think that Rams defense needs to set the tone early in this game against a young quarterback and Trevor Lawrence to kind of get things going for this team. I think it's a collective effort by the Rams in all three phases of the game. Thus, I'm going to take them by the score of 37-20. Now, the big one in the Steel City is you're going to have the 8-3 Baltimore Ravens traveling to take on the 5-1 Pittsburgh Steelers. And for Pittsburgh, it's been a tough go at it. They tied with the Lions a few weeks ago. We saw them lose a heartbreaker to the Chargers, and then they just got embarrassed and run off the field last week at the hands of the Cincinnati Bengals. At some point, you just have to wonder when that Steeler pride is going to show up, especially on the defensive side of the ball, as they have to find a way to go out there and neutralize Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. But on the flip side, for the Steelers offense, they got to get Najee Harris going. He is the key to what the Steelers can do. Pittsburgh has been struggling, but when you think about this Ravens Steelers rivalry, always very physical games. Always, it's the new black and blue division of the NFL, if you will. But I think Pittsburgh finds a way to respond because their pride was, their pride's on the line in this one. The bottom line, I'm going to take Pittsburgh at home by the score of 24-22. Now you're going to have the 6-5 San Francisco 49ers traveling to take on the 3-8 Seattle Seahawks. And for Seattle, they've only won once at home uh this year, and on top of that, they have struggled offensively ever since Russell Wilson has returned from injury. That's big for the Seahawks and what they need to do. I think Seattle, they got to try to find a way to find some type of identity. And I know this is late in the season, but for the Seahawks, they have no identity right now. And if you're the 49ers, you're running the football effectively. I know no Debo Samuel. That's going to be big to this offense. But also, I love this 49ers defense in the way that they're playing right now. And if they can put some pressure on quarterback Russell Wilson, especially since the Seahawks have a bad offensive line, advantage 49ers. And thus, I'm going to take San Francisco on the road by the score of 24-20. Now, tomorrow night, you're going to have the 6-5 Denver Broncos traveling to take on the 7-4 Kansas City Chiefs. And don't look now, the Chiefs have won their last four games in a row. They're doing it with defense. And at some point, you have to expect this offense to really start clicking. Will this be the game? We'll have to wait and see. But I like this Chiefs defense going up against Broncos quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, advantage Kansas City. Thus, I'm going to take the Chiefs at home by the score of 30-20. And finally, on Monday night, first place in the AFC East is on the line. As you're going to have the 8-4 New England Patriots traveling to take on the 7-4 Buffalo Bills. Now, heading into the season, a lot of people expected Buffalo to win this division by default, but that's not the case because the Bills have been losing games that they should have been winning, while the Patriots are really rounding into form. New England is undefeated on the road this season, and as the weeks progress, this team collectively is getting more confidence. Mac Jones is playing beyond his years because the bottom line is he's taking what the opposing defenses are giving him. He's not forcing the ball. And you look at this Patriots defense, a typical Bill Belichick defense. They adjust from week to week based on their opponent. And I expect them to go out there and show Bills quarterback Josh Allen something that he has not seen so far this year. It's going to be a back and forth affair. I know that the crowd in Western New York is going to be in this one. 37 degrees at game time, so it's going to be a cold one. But I'm going to take New England by the score of 30-24. So those are my picks for week number 13. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you are on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.